Hello. Day one, and reignite your athletic fat burning hormones. Fall fat loss edition. I'm just checking to make sure I'm live because good old Facebook has changed everything around. There I am. Amazing. All right, guys, I am super pumped. Day one. I am so excited that you guys are here and that you've decided to join us. I know that it is no small feat wearing all the hats that you wear: mom, CEO, mom to kids, fur babies, husband, needy friends, right? Household CEO, job, taxi driver, all the things for you to carve out this time to be coached by me and my team for the next 5 days in this free fat burning hormone challenge. And you are going to learn a lot. I'm going to try my best. I say this every time I do a challenge. Say hi when you guys are jumping on. Let me know where you're from. Say hello. Because these challenges, I'm going to tell you, are these coachings are not me sitting here preaching to the choir. I say that all the time in my 3M community, which is our signature hormone loving, fat burning community for our signature program. I say it all the time. This is meant to be interactive. This is your time to get free coaching and support from us, as well as you're going to be learning a ton. I'm going to do my best to condense the information and make it as simple as possible. But here's the deal. What's going to set you apart, because we know over 40 is different, what's going to set you apart now, and what the biggest key and hack, if you will, from all the other programs that you've done before is here and now in this challenge, you're going to learn why. And not only why, but how you can take what you've learned and apply it to your life simply. It is key. Okay, so let me know. I got to scroll down here and see if I can see comments. If you're watching, let me know. Say hi, please. Hey, Kay. Arizona. I heard Arizona's going through a huge heat wave. You guys have had like the hottest summer. I have a couple clients, 3M clients that are in Arizona, and they're like, we got to get our walks in morning and evening. It's so hot. We've had a really humid summer here. So if you don't know, I'm in Canada. I'm just outside of Toronto, about 45 minutes. And no, there's no snow. Hi, Leanne. Leanne's my fellow Ontarian. She knows. She knows. So I am officially welcoming you guys. This is amazing. So make sure that you guys have your guide. There is a post where I walk you through the guide. The guide, again, it has recipes, it has workouts, but it's not something for you to follow verbatim. It's your support. Okay, it's going to give you some knowledge and some insight on what we're talking about over these next 5 days, because you're going to hear me use the word prime a lot. Priming hormones. Okay, so make sure that you've downloaded your guide. If you haven't, just put in the comments below, and myself or my team will make sure that we get it to you. Okay, it's just a straight downloadable link, and in there is also your daily worksheets. Okay, so very simple. We don't need another to do, but very simple. You can it just keeps everything sort of compact and in line, things that you can check off. Okay, there's a little note section in there, so you can print those off, use them, keep them visible on your desk, on your fridge, in your cupboards, wherever you would like. Okay, so please make sure that you guys have that. Lastly, if you're watching live, like Kay and Leanne I have on here, and I see a bunch of you other guys jumping on, amazing. But if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay and let us know. Okay, again, this isn't about us preaching from the choir. I hate it when challenges are like that. They're like, robots, do this, do that, do this, do that. No, this is interactive. We're going to be following up with you. We're going to be PMing you. We're going to be chatting with you. Okay, very important, because you are different. And your journey is different from everybody else's. So let me know if you're watching the replay, because I get it. Maybe you're at work and you're sort of got the earbuds in and you're sneaking in listening. Totally cool. Or it's at night and the house is quiet and you're checking it out. All right, so please make sure you put hashtag replay, and make sure you have a notebook or something handy. Okay, something to take notes, or the handout that I give you. It's very, very important. Okay, because again, you need to learn why. Because here's the reality. Today, specifically, we are talking about optimizing your already healthy diet. You guys already know what eating clean is, what eating healthy is, whole food, real food eating, right? You already work out. You like to move. But for some reason, and we're going to talk about that today, there is a disconnect from you getting the results sustainably in your life. Okay? Every day is different. It's just a reality. So why you're eating healthy and working out and doing the things and not seeing results. And again, this is where a lot of the blanket solutions and maybe some of the challenges, I'm never here to negate anything, but they skip this step. And the key step is we're going to be focusing on not just changing behaviors the next 5 days. We call this neural realignment in our 3M in our program. Okay. It's not just about meal plans and workouts. It's up here. So we can just change behaviors. All of you guys, if I gave you 5 20-minute HIIT workouts to do and a meal plan for 5 days, you would do it. For sure. You're a doer, you're a go-getter, you're busy, you got this. You would do it. But it's not about that. It's about up here, right? And understanding that we can't just change behaviors. We need to look at structures that support the habits that we're trying to do. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, because all of you, that's why New Year's resolutions fail, because you just focus on behavioral change. Okay, you don't focus on the things that are going to help you, support you, keep those as new integrations in your life. All right, so, and the second thing that a lot of, unfortunately, that a lot of the blanket solutions and challenges and what have you do, and let me plug in my computer because it's about to, of course, die, is they are obviously on a calorie-centric approach, which we're going to talk about very high level near the end of this coaching session. But they don't, especially when if it's hormonal. And when I say hormonal, it doesn't mean that you have to be in menopause or perimenopause or have a thyroid condition. Okay, our hormones naturally shift in our 40s, plus. Some of you guys may be in your 50s. Okay, natural shift happens. Doesn't matter how healthy you are, unhealthy you are. It's going to occur. And one of the biggest things that we need to focus on is priming your hormones. Okay. And that's one of the biggest reasons, please write this down. One of the biggest reasons why what used to work for you in your 20s and 30s is not working now. Okay. What used to work for you in your 20s and 30s is not working now because your hormones are not primed to help your body release fat, utilize fat for energy. Okay. Take food as information, strengthen and tone muscle, long, lean muscles, such a sexy word, right? Long and lean. So when we talk this week, you're going to hear me say the word prime a lot because that is really the focus. We want those hormones to ignite and fat burn, your fat burning hormones to take that fat, use it for energy. Okay. That's what an efficient metabolism is. It's utilizing your fats and your carbohydrates for energy. It's not storing it or keeping it for protection, right? Weight is not the problem. It's a symptom of something. Okay, that's another writer downer. Weight's not the problem, it's a symptom. So here we're working on building that foundation, which is priming your hormones first before we ask them to change and do all the fun stuff. Okay. Because there's so many factors in our over 40 and obviously lifestyle is a big player in our environment. Okay. So when we're priming, what does that mean physiologically? It means specifically, we first and foremost, inflammation. We need inflammation out of your body. Who's feeling bloated? Okay. Let me know in the chat. Okay. Replay or not. Let me know who's feeling bloated. Put a hands up. Bloated, especially around here. Inflammation. Okay. So feeling bloated. So I'm just going to get my comments here. For some reason, they keep hiding on me. So I'm just going to, if I do this and expand it, I can see you guys. Yeah, Miranda, Kay, all you guys, let me know who's feeling bloated. We want to reduce inflammation, because then we can get our hormones. You have to remember, hormones are messengers. They're sending signals all the time, all over your body, specifically in this case for fat burning in our 40s to your metabolism to either store or burn. Okay. And when we have inflammation in our bodies, your body's still holding on. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong. We're going to hold on to fat for protection. Okay. So when we prime our hormones, we get rid of inflammation and we allow our hormones to start having trust in our bodies and what's going on and start signaling and chatting. They get in symphony again and back and forth. Okay. So in your guide, you let me know who got the guide. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, very important. In your guide, you'll see that beautiful triangle called your hormonal hierarchy. Okay, we're going to dive into that a lot more tomorrow, but you'll see in the baseline of that hormonal hierarchy, two big players, insulin and cortisol. Okay, calories matter, but insulin and cortisol are the king and queen. So we need to make sure those are primed first. Okay, primed first. Hormonal hierarchy. We're going to be talking about a lot, right, to create that foundation. All right, good guys. And obviously we want this to translate into what you're looking for. Thumbs up. Oakville, Miranda, you're my neighbor. I'm just in Burlington. Maybe we have coffee later. Okay. Okay, so working out, eating clean, not translating into how you're feeling. Okay. You're active, but somehow you're not seeing the transformation, the physiological changes. Let me know if that's you. Give me a hands up. Okay. So definitely on this challenge, we're going to be talking a lot about that. So optimizing your already healthy diet. 5 tips I'm going to give you guys today. Okay. And I outlined them a bit in the email this morning that hopefully all of you guys are getting. Let us know if you're not, to help you guys build that foundation. Okay. And some of you are going to be, when I go through these tips, are going to be like, yeah, I already know that, Moni. Yep. Heard it before. Heard it numerous times. Right. And, but here's the challenge. I want you to think about what structures you're going to do to support those things. And if all 5 seem overwhelming, which they may, pick one, which I'm going to ask you to do. Pick one for today. Okay. Structures, not just, oh yeah, for example, yeah, I can up my water. I already know how important water intake is. I can up my water. What structure are you going to do to support you in increasing your water? Okay. So I want you guys to think about that, structures around it a little bit more. Okay. Because these are the 2 things that we really, really need in our 40s and our body wants, because your body's always fighting for homeostasis, especially in our 40s. It's never going to get there, but everything it does, it tries to fight for it. Okay. That's why I hate the word hormonal balance. There's no balance. Your body's always like this because every day, especially in our 40s gong show of a decade, it's the busiest decade, I swear, right? 50s too. We need to focus on, please write this down, efficiency and consistency. Huge. Okay. And when I say consistency, I'm going to be super, super clear, especially when it comes to nutrition. This is not about deprivation. This is not about never having ice cream cake ever again, because ice cream cake is, or having pizza and wine Fridays. It's not about deprivation, but it is about consistency. And you'll hear Angela, who's going to be doing a live in here, checking in you, who's one of our client success coaches in our 3M system. She's going to be piping in, and our other coaches too. It's not about deprivation. Okay. Efficiency and consistency. Efficiency is a big one. Your hormones need to trust to create a foundation and a symphony to start talking and messaging effectively. Okay. I'm getting efficiency and effectively, right? Because then your body is triggered to release fat for energy. It's one of the most, like, your body loves fat for energy and carbohydrates too. Okay. So we don't want hormonal chaos, right? We want to prime. All right, let's dive in. These 5 things. So efficiency and consistency. Does that make sense? Let me know, guys. Yay. Yes. Okay. Type prime. I got my tea here. Type prime in the comments if you're ready to start implementing one of these 5 things we're going to talk about. Prime. Prime. Amazing. All right, number one, 5 tips that we can do to optimize our already healthy diet. Okay, number one, meal timing. So, what does that mean exactly? When I say when you're having your meals in your 40s is very important. Why? Because now, again, more than ever, your body is craving consistency. Because energy demand in and out is chaotic. Let's be real, especially the last 2 years. Okay, so your body's craving some kind of routine and consistency. Now, does that mean I have to have breakfast at 9, lunch at noon, dinner at 5? No, that's not life. But every energy demand is different. But if we eat in certain realms, like an hour or two around sort of a certain time, 3 distinct meals, your body knows how to work around that and starts to trust. Okay. And it knows, okay, I'm going to be fed again here in about 4 hours. Okay. Okay. I know that I can lower insulin. You're going to hear me say that word a lot. Okay. I know that I can get into rest and digest. Who's heard of rest and digest? Very important in our 40s. Your body needs time to process the nutrition that it's given. Okay. And we're not as metabolically reactive in our 20s and 30s. So that time takes a little bit. We need rest and digest. This is where I say my snackers and my fasters beware. Who's fasted before? Raise your hand. Again, no judgment. I'm not here to discredit any other mythology. But I'm going to say this, and if you've gotten the accelerator blueprint from me, you hear me say that. And there, fasting is not a diet; it's a tool. We use it with some 3M clients, okay, if they need it. And typically we actually do it in the evening as a little side tip. But because energy in and out is super important, and we use, I'm not going to sidebar here because I do that all the time, squirrel brain. Our glucose depletes so much overnight, especially if you're feeling perimenopausal symptoms and not sleeping great. Okay. Your glucose is already low in the morning. Your fasting is going to go lower, 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 lower. How you come out of fast is more important than the fast actually itself. And what you consume, you can skyrocket your insulin and blood sugar, and your body will hold on to fat. Doesn't matter if you've just had salad. Okay. So anyways, that was a bit of a squirrel. Does fasting help with hormones and digestion and all these things? Yes, if it's done correctly. Again, how you come out of fast is very, very important. So it's not a diet though for you for your dieters out there. Okay. And when I say I would like you to start having breakfast again, and then we're going to when I get into tip number 2, I'm going to explain why. And if you've been fasting, please start small, a little smoothie. Okay, little maybe some egg, something small. Don't jump into a huge breakfast. Your body will be like, what the heck? Okay, meal timing. Your body needs to trust when it's going to be fed again so it knows what to do, more importantly, in between. Rest and digest. Okay. And there it can start creating an algorithm around that. The other thing was my snackers. Okay, my snackers beware. Who's a snacker? Let me know, put snacker. Yep, to intermittent fasting. Yeah, we've all done it. Okay, because you hear it. Oh, I lost 10 pounds in intermittent fasting. Yeah, because you dropped a meal. Okay. Again, I'm not discrediting fasting. It works if it's done correctly, but it's not a diet. It's a tool. Okay, so my snackers. Okay, you graze all day. Big one with COVID and being at home. The fridge is right there. You're doing Zoom meetings, get munchy, eating off kids' plates, family members' plates. You graze all day. Okay, there's no time for your body to get into rest and digest. And guess what's happening? Okay, if insulin and blood sugar are high, your body is not going to release fat. We're going to talk about that a lot more tomorrow. Okay, so snackers and fasters. Let's try to move anyone to consistent meal times. I get it. If you're in a profession, teacher is tough. There's any teachers out here? Doctor, nurse, especially right now with everything going on in our world. Okay, you're not necessarily going to have these set times. Talk to me. Talk to our coaches. Okay, we'll help you with that. I've had. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. like I've had police officers, nurses, doctors, emergency care workers, okay, teachers from JK all the way to university profs, like, and we get it, schedules, night shift workers, okay, so it can't be, it can take a little bit of discussion behind it, so just let us know, we'll help. All right, number 2 is based on one of our key macronutrients. Do you guys know what macronutrients are? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, put macros in comments. Thumbs up. Macronutrients are your carbohydrates, your proteins, your fats. I also add a 4th, fiber, because fiber is really important too. Okay, very important over 40. But we're going to be focusing on protein, because protein is one of your key building blocks for you to metabolize hormones, and meaning it helps with your hormonal signaling, that symphony that we want to establish. Okay, and having hormones talk efficiently to each other and to other things like your metabolism. Protein is also great with satiation, keeps you fuller for longer. It also has an amazing, probably I believe the highest out of all our macronutrients, it escapes me for whatever reason right now, thermogenic effect, meaning it takes a lot of energy to consume it, break it down, pull apart the essential nutrients that we need, export into our bloodstream, and rid the rest. Thermogenic effect, okay? And listen, when I talk about these 5 tips, I'm going to give you guys application here afterwards, but let's just review each one, okay? And the biggest one too, protein is a building block for long, lean muscle. Our metabolism actually doesn't really greatly decrease as we age. What greatly decreases as we age is lean muscle mass. But please don't think that you can change your body into long, lean muscles if your hormones aren't primed first. Won't happen. Again, I get it. You know, let's get bikini ready 2 weeks out in your 20s and 30s. You know, you ate salads 3 times a day, worked out like a crazy woman. And you're like, all right, I'm ready for the beach. It doesn't work like that now. Be amazing if it did, but it doesn't, right? So protein, okay? Thumbs up to protein for sure, okay? We should be getting an adequate enough amount of protein in our diet. And when I say protein, I do not necessarily mean animal-based. Okay, there's amazing plant-based resources out there, and I encourage you to start adapting plant. I'm not a plant. Listen, I have an Argentine background. Do not take away my meat, but it's very important to have plant-based proteins in there as well. Okay, in our 3M system, we do vegan, vegetarian, as well as the carnivore, as well as meat eaters diets. Okay, number 3, macros. I love that you guys are with me. Okay, number 3 is Java. What do you guys think that's all about? Java. Caffeine. Okay, optimizing your already healthy diet. Caffeine. I'm going to put caffeine in the whole coffee realm, just it's because it's very common, and I'm not one that will ever say you shouldn't have that, don't have that. But here's the skinny around caffeine. Okay, and again, I'm going to use coffee as the example. Caffeine works directly with a key system in our body called the HPT system. Okay, goes from here to your adrenals. All right, HPT. So hypothalamus, thought of brain, okay, to your adrenals. And it's basically a part of your system that helps the control center to produce cortisone and adrenaline. Okay, stress hormones, if you will. And here's the thing. Cortisol, like I mentioned earlier, is one of our key fat storing hormones. Okay, and we're going to be talking about that further along in this week when we talk about stress accommodation versus stress management. Okay, very key. Please do not miss that one. But when cortisol is high, insulin is low. It can't come in to regulate blood sugar. Hangry. Okay, when cortisol is high, thyroid function is low. Thyroid function directly relates to the efficiency of your metabolism as well. Key messenger there. Okay, so those are just 2 key areas that we see how cortisol can keep you in fat holding state, not in fat burning state, utilizing fat for energy. Here's the thing with caffeine. Okay, caffeine obviously works with your central nervous system. It makes you feel more awake, puts you in a better mood, many of you, right? I'm a tea drinker. I love the smell of coffee. My husband's a coffee drinker. But you kind of get in a better mood, right? If you, after you had your cup of coffee. And it's a great perk, great pick me up. But the biggest thing that we don't want it to do is trigger our bodies and our adrenals, okay, HPV axis adrenals, to produce more cortisol, okay? Because especially in the morning, cortisol is naturally higher in the mornings, okay, for many of us, okay, higher in the mornings. So if your hormone is high, cortisol is already high, you're having coffee in the morning, guess what? It's pushing it higher. Okay, then you can have your beautiful juice smoothie, all these things, but your cortisol is way up here. It doesn't, your body's still going to hold on to fat. It's not going to utilize what's stored or what you're even consumed for energy. Okay, so again, I'm not here to say, please do not, not like don't drink coffee, but I'm saying be very conscious of your caffeine intake. Okay, because triggering that APT access to pump up more cortisol, it raises your heart rate, right? Your mind might be like awake and okay, but then your body's kind of like, whoa, what's happening? Okay, so, and we won't, it's very cruel for me to say, don't drink coffee. Moderation, please. Okay, so if you're like a 3-4 cup drinker, try to cut it back to 1. If you have coffee first thing in the morning or caffeine in general first thing in the morning, try to buffer it with food. Meaning waking up, having your cup of coffee, and then consuming 30 minutes later is not necessarily the best case scenario for your metabolism and fat burning hormones. Okay, does that make sense? Hey, Christine. Does that make sense for you guys watching? There's a bunch of you watching. Let me know. Okay, does that make sense about coffee? Caffeine, not just coffee, but caffeine in general. Okay. Number 4, you're sweet enough. What do you think that's about? You guys have seen this a million times, I'm sure, but it's super important. I keep saying that. That's my word of the day. Super important. Thumbs up. I love it. Okay. Who's done like a sugar challenge or a sugar detox? We had one. We had one for 3 days. Might still be around too. Maybe on my website. You can jump into it if you'd like. But here's what we know about sugar. Sugar's not evil. Sugar, glucose, I'm going to put glucose in there too, is actually your brain and your cells' most preferred source of energy. Why? Because it's quick. Where sugar, glucose, lets us down is in the delivery system, the form that it's in. When it's in crap food that's not really food, processed food, it's not going to serve us. Okay, meaning in helping our insulin levels and helping our bodies get into fat burning mode. Okay, that's where it fails us, is in the delivery system, right? So the modified foods that are higher in sugar content, it'll start throwing everything off. So we want to be super conscious about the processed sugars. And I think most of us at this point know what that means. Read your labels. We actually go through one of our weeks, we do a whole video coaching training in 3M system, all on label reading, because marketers in the food industry are very savvy and smart. You'll see the word natural, even organic. Okay, you even may see sugar-free, and it's not sugar-free. Read your labels, more specifically your ingredients. Okay, if sugar is in the first 3 ingredients, put it aside. Anything that ends in OSE. Okay, I'm going to talk about fructose here in a second, because I know everyone's like, well, what about fruit? Okay, so you think label really, it's really elementary label reading. It's not. Okay, again, the marketers are very, very crafty. And if we're basing and priming our hormones around that hormonal hierarchy, and insulin and blood sugar are part of that foundation of priming, we need to ignite hormones to fat burn. We need to be conscious of our processed sugar intake. And I get it, packaged foods are a part of our society. It would be amazing when we can all eat off the land all the time. I see my clients with these beautiful gardens. I'm like, I love it. But convenience foods are a part of our society. Okay, but there's different levels. The really highly processed stuff be careful of, okay? Because everything that we're doing this week, again, is to prime our hormones, okay? Like insulin, so we can release the fluffies, okay? It's not evil. It's just a delivery system, right? And I'll talk about a tip here in a second when it comes to good old sugar. Number 5, let's get into our last one. Okay, you might have heard this like a broken record too. Hydration. Hydration. Okay, and here's a little reality though. Your brain doesn't know the difference between hydration and thirst. So many times when we get munchy and, cravings and maybe a little hangry, we're actually 80% of the time dehydrated. Little hack, drink a big glass of water before you dive into the Triscuits. Okay? And if my clients had a nickel for every time that I asked them to ask what their water is at, they'd be like, paying for the program. Okay? Because it's a key. If you work out more, if you're in warmer climates, if you've traveled, if you're sick, where you are in your cycle, if you're stressed out, if you slept poorly, water intake should be more. Okay? And I'm going to tell you here how we can figure that out, because this old adage of, and we know all the benefits of why. Okay, do you guys know? Flushing out the toxins. Okay, what hydration does. Here too, muscle needs fluid. Okay. But the old adage of that 8 glasses of water a day, I even know that some doctors are still saying that, and nothing against doctors. I love my GP, but sitting there and telling a 300-pound lineman that he should have 8 glasses of water a day versus my 5'2", 50-year-old client in perimenopause that she should have 8 glasses, totally different. Okay, so this is how you're going to figure it out. And depending if you're Canadian or US, just bear with me because I know, oh, what did I do here? These are great at Costco, but I can't, I feel like I'm going to, did I break my, talking. Okay. Say you're going to take your body weight and put it in ounces. Why is this forgetting me right now? Yes. You're going to take your body weight, put it in ounces, divide it in half, put it in ounces, and then convert it to liters or gallons. Okay, so for example, 150-pound woman, that's 75 ounces, that's around 2.8 liters. I don't know what that is in gallons. Is that like, isn't a gallon 2.4 liters? Can't even remember. My US friends, help me. Who's from Arizona here that's watching? Okay, body weight, divide it in half. Body weight in ounces, divide it in half. I'm going to say this again because I keep stuttering. Body weight in ounces, divide it in half. Convert to liters. That is your minimum a day. Okay. When I get into the action behind this, please don't think that you're like, if you're like, oh my God, that's 3 liters of water a day. I maybe have a liter. And then tomorrow jump to 3 liters. You're going to be so mad at me because you're going to be like, Moni, this is the best diet ever because I'm in the bathroom all the time. So I can't eat. Right? So start in 500 ml increments is what I teach my clients and start building them up there. But very, very, very conscious of it. Find a vessel, okay, a water bottle, something. I wish I had mine here. Water bottle that you know is a liter or whatever it is, okay? And then you can help keep track of that, okay? If you're not a water drinker, reminders in your phone. Legit. Put reminders in your phone, okay? Very, it's very up there. We talk about all the time in the 3M system, yes, priming your hormones. Before we even look at nutrition and fitness, we look at sleep, water, and stress. Okay, we're not talking about sleep this week, but we are going to be talking about water and stress. Obviously, stress accommodation versus stress management later on. Okay, so I know most women are very conscious about their water intake, but they don't realize that it needs to fluctuate based on their environment and what's going on. Okay. Especially the stress one. You're stressed. Water. Okay, so let's recap 1 to 5. We have meal timing. Okay, we have protein. We have caffeine, Java. We have your sweet enough sugar, and we have hydration. Those are your big 5 tips to optimize areas, to optimize your already healthy diet. Already know how to eat clean, already working out, moving. How can we optimize it? To prime our hormones to start reigniting to release fat. Okay. And then now I want to go over, so write all those 5 down, please. And now I'm going to be going over structures. Again, not behaviors, structures. Behavior is like, oh yeah, I'm going to start doing 3 liters of water tomorrow. That's changing a behavior. What are you going to do to support that? Okay, so we can all muscle through that. And it works until it doesn't, until life does a complete 180. So I'm going to give you guys some tips here. Okay, you guys ready? Hanging in there? Which one stood out to you of the 5? Let me know. You watching live or the recap? 1 to 5. Which one? Were you like, I need to focus on that? Just one. Pick one. Don't try to do all 5 unless you're on vacation and a doer this week. Okay? It's busy time, September, for many, many. Okay, pick one. Let me know in the chat. Okay, replay or not, let me know. All right, so does caffeine and or tea count towards a total water intake? Great question, Christine. No. Caffeine's a diuretic, right? So it's actually robbing you of water. Herbal tea, yes. Same with tea, like your green tea, Earl Grey, orange pekoe, all those things. Okay, has caffeine in it. Herbal teas, peppermint, chamomile. I'm trying to think of the ones I really like. Pau d'Arco, dandelion root is a bit of a diuretic, but still considered herbal. Those definitely do count towards your water intake. Okay. Listen, you get a lot of water from food, like a lot of water from food. Don't count that in there either. That's like the new thing. People are like, but if you eat watermelon and cucumber and celery that are high percentage water, that counts towards your water. No, drink water. First thing every morning, have a big glass of warm water. Okay. Not warm. Hey, Cynthia, so happy we're talking tomorrow. I'm so excited. Okay, so Leanne, meal timing for you, key, especially with the bloating that we talked around before. K, number 4, which is the sugar. Okay, awesome. Cynthia, protein. Okay, so let's talk about structures that we can do, little tips around each of these 5. Okay, so because again, we want consistency and efficiency, right? Key. So this is, I'm just looking at my notes here, making sure I don't get lost in what I'm doing. Okay, meal timing. Okay, so if you've got an issue with skipping meals because you're busy or eating off what's people's plate, because you're just kind of grab and go, running out the door, like my doctors and my teachers, maybe, you have big gaps in between your meals. You can't just sneak in a lunch whenever. It's totally time for you. Start with breakfast. Okay. Or maybe it's dinner. Start with one meal that you know that you have control, if you will, over, and have that consistently within reason around the same time. Okay. Around the same time, because everyone's life's so different. I can't sit here and be like 9, noon, 12. Okay. So pick one. And optimally, I would say this, try to aim for 4 hours in between your meals. Okay. That's enough time without hunger. We should never be hungry. If you are hungry, you haven't nutrition paired, which is a key strategy that we talk about in the 3N system. Okay, we talk about tomorrow. We haven't nutrition paired your meals to support your energy demand. That's it. It's not about rotating macros and counting your macros and food calculus. Nobody has time to weigh their stuff. Like, I don't know how people do it. No one has time. But it's just knowledge around what do these key macronutrients and just nutrition do for me to support my energy demand. So when I eat, I can last 3.5, 4 hours in between meals to allow my body to rest and digest, process everything, allow insulin and glucose to come down before I can consume again. Okay? See how this is bigger than just meal plan, working out. Let me know, high five, like give me a bunch of high fives if you see how this is bigger than just following a meal plan and working out. It doesn't mean it's difficult, it's just bigger. Okay. So snacks are there. We should never be hungry between meals. But if we are getting hangry, we know we're missing something, snacks are there if you need them. Say you have lunch at noon, you know you have back-to-back Zoom calls, super busy, you work out too at 5, so dinner's not till 7. You can't go from 12 to 7 without consumption. That's where a snack comes in. Okay, makes sense? Makes sense? Yep. Awesome. High fives. Okay, protein. What structure around protein can we do to make sure that we're getting, and I'm talking every meal. Okay, so the 3 big meals, every meal we have a focus around protein. Should never be missing macronutrients. Good old keto. Still around that good old keto. Okay, protein. So what structure can we get around having protein? And again, doesn't have to be animal-based. It can be plant-based as well. Like it's super impactful. Like hemp seeds and chia seeds are great sources of protein. Okay, it doesn't have to be tofu. Okay, great. Even I like tofu, right? Hemp, everything, but chia seeds, hemp seeds, great sources of protein. There's great sources out there. Okay. So I encourage you to do plant-based, right? Because having meat every single meal is a bit much and boring. So this is the foundation where your hormones, okay, the protein, because it helps protein helps your hormones metabolize. Okay. So try to optimize having a little bit of more protein. Good old Pinterest, right? I hate, don't Google stuff. Like Googling, it's whoever has paid advertising gets at the top. That's what you're going to see. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Okay. But if you go to Pinterest or Google and just like plant-based sources of protein, see what's out there. There's tons. Okay. See what's out there. And start making sure that you're getting that into your meals. Okay. Tweaking the foundation a bit. Sound good? Oh, I love all the high fives. You guys are amazing. I love it. Okay, so protein. The next one, sugar. Okay, and especially for breakfast, it doesn't have to be eggs every day. Okay, you can do it overnight oats with some hemp seeds in there, or like a granola with some yogurt with some chia seeds in there. Yums. Okay. All right. I can't remember number 3 or 4 is sugar. Be conscious of it. Okay, what structure can we do around it? Look at the ingredients. Let's talk about natural sugars. Fructose, natural sugar. Here's the thing. Everyone gets freaked out because, oh my God, fructose. Is it going to raise up your insulin and glucose? Yeah, it's still a sugar, even though it's healthy. But here's the difference. Fruit has fiber. Fiber slows down that blood sugar release, first off, and your body understands what a strawberry is. It doesn't understand what a Ritz cracker is. So then it's got to work extra hard to be like, she just had a Ritz cracker. I have no idea what this is. Is it whole wheat? Is it cornstarch? Like, what do we got in here? It's got to work extra hard. Okay. So I will say this. I've seen many women, they have the fruit smoothies and they're putting a handful of strawberries, a banana, and something else in there. That's too much. Keep it within reason. Okay, a couple of servings a day. Apple as a snack. Have some berries in your smoothie at breakfast, or maybe after dinner to have something sweet. Okay, keep it within reason with your fructose. But please don't be anti-fruit. Like, I don't know how many people I've worked with that have come off keto that are so scared to have a banana. And I'm like, a banana, amazing potassium. Okay, an awesome source of potassium. Amazing for your muscles and vitality. And they're worried about having a banana because the carbs are too high in the fructose. It's real food. Okay, you guys laughing at me? Banana. Oh, my phone just died. I can see. Okay, I can scroll down here. Christine, how much protein should you have at each meal? Great question. Depends on so much. It depends on your, and you can, let's PM offline, activity level, lifestyle, goals, height, weight. Okay. Again, it's not about sitting there and measuring it out. I think if you just make a conscious effort to start and say, okay, breakfast, okay, I'm going to add some seeds in here. Lunch, maybe I can have some leftover turkey breast that is hanging around. Dinner, we're going to have, I don't know, like a taco salad, but I'm going to put, a fish or a shrimp in there instead, like fish tacos or something. Okay. Just using it as an example. So I can't sit there and say, oh, make sure you have 100 grams of protein a day. Depends. And nobody has time to measure it out. Okay. We use something very simple with clients with protein based on activity level, lifestyle, everything. And we base it on their hand. Okay. Hand and thumb. Okay. On protein for the meal. But great question. Great question. Okay. And please remember that when we talk about macronutrients, as one of the biggest things I teach my clients, and this is where we've gotten so convoluted with different diets and fads out there. Everyone thinks like a protein is only a protein and a fat's only a fat and a carbohydrate's only a carbohydrate. No, hemp seeds and chia seeds, amazing source of protein, also a great source of fat. Okay. Banana, carbohydrate, also fiber. Okay. So things mix. Okay. Just a little, I did a squirrel there. All right. Does that make sense when it comes to sugars though? Okay. You'll be very surprised. Look at the label. If it's in the first 3 ingredients, put it aside because that means there's a lot in there. And tip, FDA, I can't remember what the governing body is off the top of my head, but even though something says 0 grams of sugar on the label, it still can have sugar in it. So always look at, I think it has to be like 0.01 and lower, and then you can say it's 0. 0 does not necessarily mean it's not in there. Okay, makes sense? So look at the ingredient list, please. Okay. And that's little tips. I did tips on each of the 5, right? I did meal timing. I tip. Start small there, distinct times. I did protein. We did, like the caffeine. Okay, caffeine is easy. Scale it back, buffer it. Scale it back, buffer it. And we did sugars and, hydration. Okay, hydration, again, be conscious of it. Please don't go from 0 to 60. Find what your min is. Work up from there if you need it. Have a vessel. Okay, I put elastic bands. My clients always laugh at me, elastic bands around mine. You can take them off when you've done a liter. Okay, and you just get into the flow. At the beginning, you are going to be cursing me because you feel like you're in the bathroom all the time and you're you feel like bogged down. Okay, so start slow. Start slow. So those are the 5 things and the structures around it. Okay. So now what I want you guys to do, this is a lot of information again, so juicy, I love it. On our Reignite Your Fat Burning Hormones Facebook group, our private Facebook group, there's going to be a post here in a bit that's going to be like, what was your biggest takeaway? What number are you going to be focusing on? What structure, more importantly, are you guys going to do to help support it? Because again, the goal is this 5 days, and I read your goals, all you guys are like, I just want to learn. I want knowledge. I feel it's different. I'm feeling bloated. I can't lose the weight. I've heard it. We need to build the foundation first. And that's what we're doing. Okay. So pick one of the 5. Tell me the structure that you're going to do. What was an aha for you? Okay. And we'll support you through that. Okay. Because each day is kind of going to build on to onto the next. All right. I'm going to wrap it up because I really don't want these trainings to be overly long, because especially people watching the replay are going to be like, oh my God, 45 minutes. What did she talk about? Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I want to leave it with this. And this is a huge one as we're talking about optimizing your nutrition. And it's something that I share with my clients right off the hop in the 3M system and the 3M accelerator. Okay. Which is the first 4 weeks of our 12-week system. And that is changing the narrative. Okay. If you follow me on Instagram too, I've been talking about this a lot. Monica_Tupholme. Okay. Doing a lot of drops here. Program drop, Instagram drop. Anyways, I want you guys to change the narrative that's probably been going on in your mind for years and years, if not decades and decades. And that is that calories in equates to calories out and what's burned. Calories in equates to calories out and what's burned. Put a big mark through that. Used to work. Used to work. I ate like crap on Saturday. I'm going to work my ass off on Sunday. Excuse my French. I am Canadian. Work my butt off on Sunday to burn off the calories I consumed the day before. That's actually a detriment to you guys now, to us now, because I'm 48. Going to be 49 in 3 months. Detriment. Okay. And I honestly think at this age, I was saying to my friend the other day, I feel in one of the best shapes and states in my life. It can be done. Okay, even through all the craziness of the last 2 years and having 2 young kids, 10 and 8. Hopefully you guys watch the My Story repost. I encourage you to, okay? Because again, I'm not preaching from the choir. I've been there, I've done it, I'm still doing it. We're constantly learning. So what are we changing the narrative to? Okay, because that, you know, calories in, calories out, burn, burn, burn used to work, doesn't work now. I want you to change it to this, and please write this down as we wrap everything up here today. Food in your 40s plus, 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 plus is information. Okay, nutrition is information. Calories is food, it's information. Okay, it's information telling us how to feel. It is information on telling us how to perform at work, at home, in the bedroom, in sport, okay? And it is also information on how we utilize what we've consumed for energy or what we are storing in the realm of fat for energy. Food is information on how we feel, perform, and utilize fat for energy. Please write that down as we wrap this up today, okay? Change the narrative, and I hope you do write it down, because we need to create some new belief system and patterns here and outcomes with what we're doing, okay, to make this successful long term. This is why we always focus on the neural realignment in here, as well as up-leveling our nutrition and fitness and life integration, okay? That's what we do. Okay, makes sense? I'm gonna go down here. Yes, water intake, meal timing, water. Hannah, good to see you, Christine. High five. Awesome. Okay, amazing. I'm going to wrap it up. Say adieu. Again, I will see you guys every day till Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, we're doing 10. Okay, and each day is a different topic. Take it one step at a time. Get your guide. Okay, review your notes if you can today. Pick one thing, share it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Enjoy the rest of today. I was going to say it's Monday. Enjoy the rest of Tuesday. Bye, guys.